The real cost of running a business in Dubai. And I just paid for one thing recently that I didn't know as a business owner, someone who's been in business for the last 20 years, that I actually had to pay for. Let me dive into that a little bit later. But what's it like to live in a city that many see is very glamorous? What are some of the pros and cons to running a business here? Well, let me tell you, I moved here in the Middle East now, would be 23 years ago. I came as cabin crew, and the energy of the city attracted me to hang up my wings and start a business. Like, honestly, it was like anything is possible. And I still believe that to this day. So many opportunities to do something different, to meet new people. And honestly, the fact that there's nearly 365 days sunshine, quite the opposite from Edinburgh in Scotland, where I'm from, is a massive attraction. I'm Kelly Lindwig. I'm a personal brand strategist, and I have made Dubai, the UAE, my home, and I love it for so many reasons. Why Dubai, and why is it great for personal branding and maybe your business too? It's not just a beautiful backdrop. Yes, that's nice, but there's also a strategic decision in why I choose to stay here. So, first of all, I've got a global database, so I work on many different timelines. And for me, being in the UAE really works for that. I've got clients in the UK and I have clients in Australia, and the time zone works for all of them. I have a fabulous podcasting studio. I don't need to have another room in my house set up. It is all done in a studio. I can personalize it and I love it. You may have seen my podcasting channel. So many fabulous guests drop in when they're visiting Dubai, which many do, and it gives me great content and an opportunity to be able to share value. There has been so many speaking opportunities. Now I can jump on a plane very easily, get back to the UK, which I've got another one later this year. I can get out to Singapore, which I've got one very soon. It is such an easy hub. And I've spoken in Google headquarters in Dubai. I've spoken many of the banking headquarters here. So there's just so many opportunities, and also it's networking paradise. So there's a huge expat culture, which is great for connections online and, more importantly, offline as well. So, some real costs and surprises. So, I wanted to share, I wrote some things down here to let you know what they don't tell you about running a business. So, one thing that I did want to share with you that happened to me recently, I organized an amazing event at the start of this year called Unapologetically You. I hired a fabulous music hall to bring people into this personal development event. I marketed it myself, and then I needed to get a permit for every speaker on stage. Now, at the time when I was planning this, it was like, do you know what? I'm going to have 4 or 5 different speakers. And then when they told me that it was going to cost 1,200 dirham per speaker, which is about $300, to have a permit that you have to pay the government in order to be able to speak at your own event, I was like, no, I'm going to be the only one that's going to speak at this event. And it's something that I'd never hosted my own event to that scale. And in 20 years, I actually didn't know. So these are little things that I share with clients that I find out as well. But not just that. I think one of the other aspects is it's not like it is in other countries where you can just go, do you know what? I'm going to start a business. Here, you need to be able to also operate legally as well. You need a trade license. And I learned this very early on in my business, but you need a trade license that works for the activities that you're doing. I use Creative Zone. They helped me. They set up all my business for me. It was so easy. And it also allows you to get a visa as well. There's some links below. If you're looking to start up your business, you might want to check those out as well. There's many lifestyle reasons why I choose to live in the UAE. Now, one is weather. Honestly, I know in the summer it's so hot, but I still walk to the gym. At 5:30 in the morning, it's still cool enough to walk to the gym. Sure, would I go out at 12, 1 o'clock if I wasn't sitting by a pool? Probably not. But compared to Scotland, where it is so cold, I would choose the sunshine all day long. But beyond that, what are some of the things that maybe I've done in the last 6 months that I can share with you? So, first of all, ease and location. I went to the Maldives with my girlfriends for a long weekend. Now, that sounds so decadent, but in actual fact, it's only 4 hours away, and there's so many deals to get there. I think we actually got a flight for less than 1,500 dirhams. So what would that be? $350 to go to the Maldives. So it sounds like luxury. It is luxury when you get there, but it's the norm. And it honestly costs less than you actually think. Then there's the gym and the wellness culture. Now, I think this has moved on massively in the 20 years since I've lived here, 23 years since I've lived here. Fitness is huge here. I think whether you are into CrossFit, whether you're into reformer Pilates, whether you're into whatever I see, cycling, like there's incredible running platforms, like there's just everything that you could think about. There's so many paddle courts here that really I feel that there is honestly no excuse. And most buildings, if you're in an apartment block, have a gym in them as well. The wellness culture, I think, is hugely supported and one I embrace massively. I know when my mum comes here, I take her to Kite Beach and we go for a walk, and she's just like, Kelly, there isn't like this at home. It's just, it's so different. And it's true, it is. And there's so many things to embrace for that. Sure, we don't have the same level of greenery that we do in Scotland, for example. And when I go back in the summer, don't get me wrong, it is spectacular. However, I feel I'm much healthier and fitter here in the UAE than I would be at home. But then you know how I feel about the cold weather. Family visits, there's been quite a few for the past 6 months. But here's the thing, I may not get to spend lots of time with my family, but I do get quality time. And that's the thing, we get to do things that we wouldn't normally do. My dad was out in May with my stepmom. We did some beautiful brunches. I took them to lovely hotels. We did a brilliant beach day, which he said he loved. It was quite funny. He forgot shorts and he refused to pay the money for the shorts in the beach club. It was quite funny. But we've got some great memories. The following month, my mum was out. We did a staycay in the Anantara in Ras Al Khaimah. Both times my parents have come and seen me work. They come and see me speak at events, which has been so nice for them to see me in my world and not just online. And yeah, really lovely memories. So not lots, but we get the quality times. And I also think that there's so many things about there being a global business operation. What do I mean by that? When my family were visiting, for example, I was still able to run a global business. I was still hosting podcasts, preparing for speaking events. Dubai really does give you this work-life integration. And I'm really careful with using the integration because balance, hey, that fluctuates, but there's definitely work-life integrations. And I think in the last 6 months, I've been able to tick off so many big goals, and you could be doing that too. There's some things that happened and there's some things that didn't. So if I take the reality check, I actually wanted to host a retreat here in the UAE, and I thought that it would sell out in a heartbeat. And I think the concept of a personal brand retreat, absolutely. Maybe it was the time of year, it was going into the summer, maybe it was the location, I don't know, but I postponed it. And here's the thing, from that, I think I was able to pivot quite quickly into going, do you know what? What could I do instead? And what I did instead was actually maybe even better. I hired a cinema for the day and I created this whole content called Speak to Be Seen, where it was one full day where you practice your origin story, you speak on stage, we practice podcasting and panels, and you're telling it in this Hollywood style theater. It was brilliant. And I think that there's something about not wallowing in self-pity that something didn't happen. There's just this energy in the city where you can pick yourself up and go, do you know what? Let's get on with things and let's go and achieve X, or let's go and do this, or let's go and do that. So there's so many things that I think Dubai allows you to pivot quickly. It rewards flexibility. I think the local community is very supportive in everything that you do. People get introduced to me all the time. So-and-so's just moved here. Would you mind speaking to them? Oh, can you help this person here? Or can you connect these people? Like, that is what it's like. And I don't know if it's like that anywhere else in the world. You can tell me, where are you currently based? And is business like that where you are? There's so many other things. Maybe I'll do a part 2. If you're interested to know more about what it's like doing business in Dubai, you want to hear from someone who's done business for not just the last 2 years, but the last 20 plus years, I'll be happy to answer questions and share some content around it. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Until next time, bye for now.